Hi, this is Sarah McMillan, and I know that in light of me being gone for this past week, there's been a lot of questions and thoughts and speculation and just concern for my well-being and where I was, and I just need to bring to light what really happened during that time. Back in March and then again at the end of July, I had kidney stones, and in the round that I had in July, I first went into the ER and they saw that I had kidney stones and prescribed me with pain medicines and sent me home to try and pass the kidney stones. And then later on ended up back in the ER because the kidney stones were not passing. The doctors had to do surgery, and then after the surgery was again sent home with medicine. And between those rounds of medicine, I became addicted to it. And after it ran out, I realized that I was struggling with needing more meds to get by. And so in this past week, I went to a hospital outside of Dallas because I didn't want, out of my own shame and pride, I didn't want people to know where I was. So I went way out of the way. I went down to Waco, to a hospital to try and get medications. They saw me in the ER, treated me in the ER, but then they discharged me and didn't send me home with anything. And then while I was there, I stayed at a women's shelter for several days, but then when the feelings and cravings of withdrawal became too much, I then left and went over to a hospital in Abilene, for the same desire, but they again treated me there, saw me there, but then sent me home. And at that point, all of my resources had drained up. I didn't have any finances to even try to get anywhere else or anything. I reached out to a friend. She came and picked me up, and I got back to Dallas and have since been talking with people and getting just wisdom and leadership and healing and going through withdrawal from these medicines. And there's been several other things that I need to just address as well. 3 months ago, I moved out from where I was living. My roommate went overseas and the lease had ended, and I didn't have housing set up for after that. But I didn't make that need known to anybody. Had I said to any of our staff that I needed a place to stay, they more than would have accommodated me. There would have been multiple options available for housing, but instead of that, I stayed at different hotels, people's houses, stayed up overnight, different things to make it through these past few months, which drained finances very quickly. So then also with that, financially, I've made statements and lied about my needs to be able to have enough finances to continue getting by, to continue staying at these places where, had I just been honest from the beginning, I would have had a place to stay long term rather than having to stay at a hotel and a night after a night after a night, and figure out needs on a day-to-day basis. And then also just I wasn't honest with anyone about the addiction either. Had I mentioned to any of our leaders what I was going through, they would have made sure that I got adequate help and time to heal. So now, being back in Dallas, the goal is for healing. I'm withdrawing right now from the medicines the past several days, and finding healing from shame, finding healing from addiction, finding healing from self-sufficiency, from lying, from just all of it. I know that this is hard news to take, especially since you guys have been searching for me for a whole week, and just everything that I put everybody through when I went down to Waco out of just shame and just not wanting people to know where I was. I had turned my phone off on airplane mode for several days during the time that I was gone, so that it was hard to even find me. And again, this is all my responsibility. Firebase didn't send me away. They did nothing to me. They don't expect anything of me. I'm here willingly. I messed up, and I need forgiveness, and I need to take time and heal from addiction, from shame, from self-condemnation, from self-sufficiency, financially, emotionally, physically, mentally. And so that is the reality of what happened. I know that there's a lot of thoughts and things out there, but that's really what happened this past week, and I need to be honest with you all. And if you have any questions or anything, feel free to reach out to me directly.